Yes.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to have Jillian and Eli here. I'm very happy that you have accepted our invitation to this Zoom. So it's going to be so special tonight and today. Good evening, everyone, again. I'm so happy to have all of you here. And before we begin, I would like to invite you to really be present for this next hour, not just to listen, but we're here today to reflect. So today's Zoom is going to be about the inner foundation that everything else is built on. We often see success on the outside, so the ranks, the recognition, the lifestyle, but what we don't always see is the mindset behind it, the discipline, the resilience, and also the decisions which are made in silence. And that's exactly what today's Zoom is going to be about. So today's Zoom topic is the success mindset, which is the foundation of everything. Because the truth is, two people can have the same opportunity, the same system, and also come from the same environment. And they could still create two completely different outcomes. So the real question becomes, what's the difference between those two people? And more importantly, how can we build that within ourselves? I'm truly honored today to be joined by these two incredible leaders, Eli and Jelena Dafesh, who have not only created outstanding results, but have done so through their leadership, their consistency, and also their powerful mindset. I will be hosting this Zoom together with MC David Lee from Arizona and also our top leader, Ziemla, with the backing support of our IT team, Mrs. Tu Nguyen and Mr. Vinh Nguyen. Today, we're going to go beyond the surface and we're going to explore these two amazing leaders' journey, their challenges, and also their thinking, and extract lessons that each of us can apply starting from today. So, wherever you are right now, I invite you to be open, to take notes, and most importantly, to see yourself in this conversation. Because everything you're looking for starts within you. So, we can begin. My first question for Mrs. Julina and Mr. Eli is that if we went back to everything, to the very beginning, who were Eli and Julina before Enagic? And what did your life look like? And also, what were you searching for at that time?
Absolutely. And I'll go ahead, Jill, and I'm going to go ahead, Jelena, and start off by
Yes.
uh, what's my background. My background is Arabic. Being that I was born in Jordan, I'm also an immigrant that came into the U.S. and had two immigrant parents. My father's Palestinian, my mother's Jordanian, and so I understand struggle and I understand challenge. So coming to America at the age of 5, and I don't know, are you going to be interpreting? Am I talking too fast? I want to make sure.
This
Uh,
English, this Zoom is will be completely in English, so you
oh,
can just speak freely.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So, I was born in 1953, so I'm 72 years young. I'm older than when I got started with Enagic. I'm older than when I started with Enagic when we used to refer to Mr. Oshuro when he was 66, I think he was at the time, 65 or 66. And we used to talk about this old guy looking so good. So I can't believe that I'm actually older. I'm older now than he was when he started and when I met
Ah,
him anyways. But the reality is that you know
Chubing,
being
Chubing.
be- so
Sorry.
being uh, the background I think of an immigrant and coming to this country and a family is the essence of life. That's the family that I grew up with. Money was not important in our family. It was all about family. It was about being a good person. It was about embracing. I'm the oldest of six, um, and so being that I'm the oldest, in our background culture, if the father passes away, the oldest son sort of takes on his position, and that was always sort of given to me. But I had a mother that I never saw my mother have a bad day. Never in my life. My mother was uh, her background is Christian from my mom, and I always say that my mother was Christ-like. I don't call her a Christian. I say she was Christ-like because I she always was about love and forgiveness, and she was always about she always told me I was the greatest. She told us, the children, you're the greatest, you're the most handsome, you're the most beautiful, you're the smartest. It didn't matter if I was failing in school. I didn't know because my mother told me that I was the smartest, even though I might have not been doing good in school. So I had a strong belief in myself and my identity from a father who was about taking care of the family, and family is the essence of life, and family is the most important thing in your life, and a mother that was all about love, and everybody was welcome in our home. We fed everybody. Nobody leaves our house hungry. So being around that kind of loving, strong atmosphere where money was not the identity, it was more about you get married, you have children, you work hard, and you stay close to the family. And I think that's where I relate to all of you in the Vietnamese culture is when I'm around you, I see the same connection. So I don't want to start crying right now, but I connect with you a lot because of my strong family background, and and that was, of course, was our attraction, my attraction to Mr. Oshiro and the way that he is. So fast forward, I got involved in the beauty industry. I went to beauty school when I was 22, and I eventually became a salon owner very fast. By the time I was 25, like yourselves, a lot of you, I wanted to own up my own salon. And I had hairstylists, and I had manicures, and I had facialists, and I had everything, full service. And that was, I opened, so I started the industry in 1975. I, uh, uh, I opened my first salon in 1978, and I stayed with it. But in the beauty industry, as you know, some of you, the problem was is that what I learned after 23 years of being in the and out of the 23 years, 17 out of those years I owned my own. I had three salons. I had over 100 people working for me at one time. So I also did stage work. So I wanted to be someone that was on stage, training, teaching people. If you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you look good, and work hard, and all these things in the beauty industry. But as I trained artistic directors and all the different things that I did, I noticed that in the beauty industry, the other stylists want to own a salon too. So when they would leave you, they would go open up their own salon. And after 20 some odd years, I said, oh my gosh, I'm training my competition. So all of a sudden, when I see the hairstylist leaving to another salon, the customers follow the stylist. So I thought, oh my gosh, I can't keep doing this. And then when I got a divorce, sorry, I was married before, and when I divorced in '93, I then met Jelena, who I'd known before, but I didn't really know. I met her 5 years prior, but when I met her again in '94, I fell in love fast. And I said, oh my gosh, this is the girl of my dreams, and she's everything that I ever wanted. I can see she's a great daughter. She respects her parents. She's a great mother. I saw her with her two sons, and how she treated them. And I know that she's going to be a great wife. And so for me, having a 3-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son, I thought, wow, she's everything I ever wanted to start again. And I thought, okay, I'm done with the salon business because I keep training hairstylists, and they leave and they want to own their own shop, or they want to work somewhere else for cash or more percentage or whatever. I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And one of my customers actually invited me to look at a network marketing company called Excel Telecommunications, and that was 1995. And Jelena had got married in 1995, so I'm brand new married to my beautiful Jelena. I call her Jelena of my soul. That's my my. I'm giving you guys a little insight to our life, and and so basically, uh, my client, she says to me as I'm cutting her hair, she says, Eli, with a personality like yours, you would make a ton of money doing what I do. And I said, Patty, I don't understand. I've been cutting your hair for 5 years. I thought you own a limousine company. She said, I do, but I'm moving on to technology. AT&T is merging with Pac Bell, blah blah blah, and all this kind of stuff. And so she invited me in her house, and I went to the house in Beverly Hills, Bel Air area, and I saw this young man. I was about 50. I was yeah, I was 42. I was 42 when I saw that. And so I saw this guy drawing circles. I know you've seen all of you've seen this on the wall, and he talked about residual income, leveraged income, money while you sleep, helping somebody else, putting a check in the other man's pocket, and you'll become successful. So right away, I said, "This is my new career. I want to help people change their lives. I want to help them. I want to put a check in the other man's pocket, and I want to help them reach their fullest potential." Well, I had already become a student during my beauty industry days of personal development. I would listen to Napoleon Hill. I would listen to Zig Ziglar. I would listen to Anthony Robbins. I would listen to Brian Tracy, Dr. Wayne Dyer. I would go and I would listen to them in the old 8-track tapes in my car. And that was building my confidence. And it was making me think more about that I can be, if I think positive, if I have a positive mental attitude, and what I think about, I bring about, and I start embracing all of these personal development philosophies and going to seminars and listening to tapes. So by the time I met Jelena and I went to this lady's house and I saw the network marketing industry, I decided, wow, this is what I want to do. But this is what happened after 11 years of being in the industry with Jelena and I, because we got married in 1995 and I started the industry in 1995 with Jelena. What I saw for the first 11 years before Enagic, before we found Mr. Oshiro, what I found was that there was a lot of founders and companies that overpromise, they underdeliver. There wasn't a lot of ethical people out there. So we would bring people into a company and then that company would go away. And because maybe the owner of the company loved money more than he loved the people. And the old saying is you want to love people, not money. But if you love money rather than people, then your heart is not in the right place. So when after being in the up and down industry of network marketing, I became a founder. I became a founding partner with one company, right? And I owned 20% of the stocks. It went on the NASDAQ. It was doing hundreds of millions of dollars. And Jillian and I helped that company. But when we saw that the founder didn't have his heart in the right place, we left that company. And I told my wife when I found out that the things that this founder was doing, I told my wife, I said, Jelena, I would rather shine shoes than work for a crook. I will never bring anybody into this company that cares more about money than it cares about people. So in 2006, when we were introduced to Enagic, um, the Enagic was only doing maybe about 100 sales a month. They came to the United States around, I think, 2003. So they've been around a few years, but they really weren't moving very fast. And so when we got called about it, Jelena didn't want to go to the presentation. She thought it was an illegal water pyramid. or something. And she didn't want to go. And I said, no, we're going to go because we've already refinanced our house 3 times. We've gone through all the financial struggles. We know what financial struggles are like. And, during our marriage and during different things, money was not good for us at all, just like for most people. And so when we saw Enagic, we went to a presentation and I told them, I said, listen, when they first invited us to look at the company, I said, look, um, what's your product? They said, water. I said, listen, I don't drink water. I don't like water. I said, you are you guys serious? I said, this is like some water filter thing. They said, no, no, Eli, don't worry about this. It's we think this company is a sleeper, but we think it's going to explode, and we know how great you are as a network marketer. They were my downline, who called me. So they said, we want you to come, and I convinced. I convinced my bride, I convinced my wife, I call her my bride, I convinced her to come. But when I went there to the presentation, I told them, I said, I will come to your presentation, but I want to see your checks. I said, because it sounds overpriced. And if I see people are selling it and people that it's a real product and people have a need for it, I said, we'll get involved. But when we got there, hi, honey.
Hi, darling.
How are you?
Sorry about that.
How are you? She went to one of our granddaughters' had a play today. So I'll make it quick. Um, so basically, what happened is that when during that presentation, I was drinking the wrong level water. I was drinking a lot of 9.5. That's all I knew. I'm drinking, and I'm watching Dr. Shinya pulling polyps out of colons. They had no videos, no, just say a doctor pulling polyps out of colons. Where my wife's oldest son, Scott, my stepson, also my son, he had a disease called ulcerative colitis, which affects the colon. So when I looked at that video, I'm looking at the video and I was thinking, oh my gosh, maybe we didn't have to take Scott's colon out. We had to take out his large intestines when he's 18. So maybe we don't have to take it. So I looked at the girl and she was a very good presenter, I remember, but I didn't think she was that. I thought she was very good, but I didn't think she was better than we were, maybe in my mind. So, and I'm looking at her checks. I can't tell you how much. And the first month, and then they put this guy named Romy. I got to meet this guy named Romy who came in 3 months before me, and then he showed back then and told me about the kind of income he made in 3 months. And well, I don't understand his English. I don't think he talks very good. In my mind, I'm thinking, well, if he can do it, I'm gonna kill this thing. And I'm seeing the presenter, I'm seeing the doctor presentation, and I'm drinking this 9.5, and I'm feeling funny in my head. I said to Jelena, I said, Jelena, I don't know what this is in the water, but I think I'm high. I think I got a buzz in my head. I said, oh my gosh. I said, I think water is going to cost more than gas one day. I said, oh my gosh, I think this is the modern day fountain of youth, because they kept telling me miracle water, miracle water. That's what they were calling it, miracle water. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe this is uh, the modern day fountain of youth. And I tell you honestly, and then I felt like it's my responsibility. How can God or Allah, whatever you want to call, who you believe in, I said, how can I know about this information and not tell my fellow man? I feel a responsibility. But I remember I walked in with stress on my shoulders because we're having certain financial challenges in our life. That's why we came to look at the presentation, not for the product. We came to look at the business opportunity, to be honest with you. And so all of a sudden, all the weight lifted from my shoulders, and And as it lifted from my shoulders, I just felt this responsibility that I have to go tell everybody. And that's what happened when we saw Mr. Oshiro the following month or whatever at the Queen Mary, and I saw how he's talking, and I walked in the room with 1,000 Filipinos, and there was maybe 30 of us non-Filipinos, and um, I thought, oh my gosh, this is the greatest opportunity in the world.
A sleeping giant.
It's a sleeping, yeah, it's a sleeping giant. So we rolled up our sleeves. We rolled up our sleeves and we went to work. And that's what we did. I would disconnect my machine every day from the sink. I had one machine. I disconnected. I put it in my box, and I would go to somebody's house, somebody's restaurant, somebody's business. I would go. I call people up and I say, "Hey, I'm on to something huge, and I got to share it with you. Are you home right now?" They said, "What is it?" I said, "I don't know what it is, but I got to come over and show you." I wouldn't tell them anything. And when I would come, I said, "You have a TV?" They say, "Yeah, good. I want to play this video." I said, "You have a sink? I'm going to connect this machine. And I want you to drink this water, and I want you to watch that video. Watch that video and drink this water. And when you're done with the glass, I want you to drink a second glass. And when you're done with the second glass, I want you to drink a third." And I always saw them running to the bathroom, running to the bathroom. And they would come back. They would come back. They say, "What's in this water? Why do I have all this energy?" And I said, "I only learned two words. I learned two words. I said, because you're overacidic and you're dehydrated." I didn't know anything else. And then I would say to them, "Do you have any questions, or are you ready to order your unit?" And they said, "What?" I said, "Do you have any questions, or are you ready to order your unit?" They said, "Yeah, I have a question." I say, "What's your question?" They would ask me a question. I said, "Hang on a second. Hang on." And I would go, "Romy, JB, whatever,
Yeah.
and I would say, I would edify, because you have to edify. You have to edify. That's the most important. I would compliment. I would edify the person I'm three-way to, and I say, "You could answer. They're the expert. You could ask them your questions," because I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. And when they would get off the phone, I would say, "Do you have any additional questions? Or are you ready to order your machine?" They said, "I have another question." I say, "Hang on." I call the second person. I do the same thing. I edify them. They ask a different person. And I say, "Do you have any additional questions? Are you ready to order your unit?" They say, "No, I got another question." I say, "Hang on." I would do that 2, 3, 4 times. And if they didn't buy, I say, "I'm picking you up tomorrow." They said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm going to come to you. I'm going to take you to the office.
Yeah.
I want you to experience this, because I love you, because I care about you. I want to help your family. I want to help you." And so they saw that I'm sincere. I really care. And they would come to the office, and I would grab strangers as they were walking out of the office, and I'd say, "Do you mind? I know you don't know me. I don't know you, but could you tell me what the water has done for you?" And if I saw somebody in the office, I'd say, "Could you share your testimony with my friend about the business, about the product?" So I always did third party validation, three-way, third party validation, because I don't want to be the know it all. I don't want to be the guy answering all the questions. I want them to hear it from other people. And that's how it started. And then, I mean, that's how, I brought some guy on, and then he puts Bob Gradelli.
It's not my story.
I know that you could talk about Bob. Okay, you talk about it.
No.
Yeah.
No, I know your question. First of all, thank you all. Sorry, I was in the car for a few minutes on my way over here, but thank you all so much for having us here again. And I know you had asked, or I think or someone said, who were we before in Agic? Well,
regular people.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're regular people.
We both came from entrepreneurial families. Your father was
a mechanic, on a gas station.
And my father had an Italian restaurant. So I grew up, as an entrepreneur also in the restaurant business. My father's Sicilian, my mother Norwegian. Eli has 2 children. I have 2 children. We don't have any kids together, but we have 4 kids, 4 grown adults that
and
are
9 grandkids,
and 9 wonderful grandchildren. And I also was in the beauty industry. I was a manicurist for many, many years.
Like 18, how
Yeah,
many years?
a long time.
Oh,
A long time.
she's
And
not going to tell you her age.
yeah, and he is way older than me.
I'm 72
yeah,
years
you
young.
already said that earlier, honey. I don't want you trying to think how old I am. So, but
She's a
he,
baby, the baby.
You two have beautiful chemistry together.
oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. So yes, our journey began in this wonderful industry of network marketing since 1995. So, what, 31,
Over 31 years.
31
Yeah.
years. And we've been with Enagic
Starting our 21st year.
our 21st year. And so, as all of you online know, it's changed your life and it's changed our life. So we're truly blessed. And yes, when we first were introduced 21 years ago, and I got that phone call, our friend had said to me, "Have you heard of this company called Anajac?" And we still laugh about it to the day. I'm like, "Anajac? What is Anajac?" And he said, "I don't know. I think it's some water filter, but there's a lady in Japan making all kinds of money." And as Eli expressed earlier, we were at that time going through a financial situation like all of us. We all have ups and downs. But Eli and Napoleon Hill says what? It doesn't matter what happens to you in life. What's important is how you deal with what happens to you in your life. So we always try to stay positive, see the good in any situation, whatever it may be. So we know something positive will come out of the situation. So yes, we went down, and well, Eli went down because the kids were still young. I think you went to the first presentation. Or no, I was with you there too.
You were together with me.
Yeah, we were together. And it changed our lives, and we never looked back. And back then, 21 years ago, we didn't have what we all have now. There was no website, nothing,
No videos,
no videos,
nothing.
no testimonies. We had one little office out in
Torrance.
Gardena, before
Whatever,
the
it's
Torrance
okay. It's the
office,
same,
yeah.
yeah.
And everything was in Japanese. We had to fax in, a utility bill, a driver's license. It was all in Japanese. We didn't know. When we got our first check, I remember calling Romy or JB saying, "What is this check for?" And Romy says, "I don't know, but just cash it." Because we were still trying to figure out that 8-point compensation plan.
We didn't know it.
And what was going on, because they were on board with Enagic about a month or two before us.
Romy was 3 months before.
3 months, yes.
JB was a few years before.
JB,
But he was struggling.
Yeah, for a while.
Until he got Romy, he was struggling.
Yeah, and then Cynthia, and then we came on. So it's been a wonderful journey, and we'll never stop. Just like Mr. Oshiro and Enagic. And we're always here for each and every one of you. We love you guys so dearly. We're so proud and honored to have you, in our family and in our Enagic family. So, just want you all to know that. And I know you talked about, having what you believe in. And we all have struggles, believe me. We struggle all the time. We've had struggles in life. We have life and death, we have celebration, we have sadness, but we have to visualize a bigger picture and a better picture, of course, first and foremost for yourselves, because we're not good to anybody if we're not good for ourselves. So we must always believe in ourselves. And that's so important. And then to share that love and that belief towards everybody else. And things will just happen. And never stop. Don't give up. And as some of you, if not all of you, know on this Zoom call today, sometimes in life we want things for people that they may not necessarily see at the time. So we have to help be their light, and we have to help guide them. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Angelina, for your wonderful, inspiring stories. My name is David Lee, and I'm living in Arizona. So, yeah, and
we had thousands of distributors in Arizona.
Yeah, great, wonderful. I know you were talking about you guys came from entrepreneurial background. Please take us back to the beginning when you were, and I think as of right now, we still have to kind of identify people's needs and pain points, right? And could you take us back to the beginning? I know, Eli, you were saying how you were invited, and then Angelina. So could you share with us the what is the secret to get people to take a look at this business opportunity and do it professionally and have them have a chance to kind of don't prejudge and really sit down and take a look at it.
Yeah, yeah, David, that's a great question because I connect a lot with the pain. And so for me, my oldest son that a lot of you guys know here, he's one of the greatest presenters. Mr. Oshuro's asked him to share the philosophy of magic very, very much. Wadia is a dash four. He's my oldest son. You've seen him on stage with us. He's been with us nearly 20 years. But when he was a young boy, he had some struggles and he had some hard things that happened to him that no parent should ever have to experience, no child should ever have to experience. And he lost a good part of his life, almost 10 years. And without getting, it's a long story, but through his struggles, I found myself being a father with the identity of family, running for my life to try to help my son through the struggles that he had gone through. And so to me, I'm ready to sell my soul. I was ready to do anything to help him with the things that he was struggling with at the time. And that identity was a burning desire to succeed in me. So when I talk to anyone, like you said, David, I want to know their pain points. So, yes, when I used to say to people, how are you? What do you do? Fantastic. May I have your business card? By the way, do you still keep your business options open? They always said yes. And then I would do exactly what David said. I would say, so tell me about yourself, and tell me about your family and tell me about, what is it that you want in life? And are you going through, so when people would tell me their pain points, that's how I would identify with them. And I would share mine as well and tell them that I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I've been where you were, but here's what I did. I found this company. It changed our life. And I want to share that with you too. And so, it was the pain points, but I don't look for people. I look for people that have a burning desire to succeed. That's the number one thing. What is their why? What is their purpose? Do they have a burning desire to succeed? I don't look for people that,
Can just buy it and don't think about
they,
it.
they don't want to work. They don't, they want to hurt people, want to take money. I'm looking for people. I'm looking for the man that's down and out. I'm looking for the man that's struggling. I'm looking for that because I want them to know I'm here and I am throwing you a lifeline. Here's a lifeline called magic, and it will change your life. It's changed my life. And I would give them stories because facts tell and stories sell. And I would tell them many stories and I would introduce them, like I said, third-party credibility. And I would introduce them to lots of people. Yeah. If you came to my presentation, and you said hello to me, I said, David, I want you to meet Jill. David, I want you to meet Wadia Daffers. I want you to meet Omar Ramirez. I want you to meet Mickey Wade. I want you to meet Dang Nguyen. I want you to meet, whoever, Dim La. I want you to meet Kevin. That's what I would do. So they would hear stories from other people. But you're right, David. It was the pain point of what my son's struggles that he was going through, that I was running for my life. I was running for his life, for the things that he was going through. And I felt like a desperate father. I was desperate. And so that desperation was, I found the girl in my dreams, but I want to give her a better life. So on top of I found the girl in my dreams, I want a better life. I also have a son that has lost his way. I've got to bring him back. How did that happen? If he's in a hospital or he's incarcerated or whatever it is, I don't care. Then I'm in the hospital, I'm incarcerated because I'm the father. And so I'm running not just for his life, I'm running for my life. And it's that running and wanting to help the other man, always thinking about how can I help the next guy? I didn't care about money in my pocket. I didn't care about commissions in my pocket. It meant nothing to me. I want to put a check in the other man's pocket. And the faster I can help the next man and I can teach him how to take care of himself and his family, then he can teach the other man how to take care of himself and his family. And that's if you look at the banner of Mr. Assure, it says spread social well-being globally. So when I asked a famous evangelist who was on my team and became a 6A, he was a famous evangelist all over the world. And I said, hey, John Paul Warren, what does social well-being mean? Because we were going to be talking on stage in front of 5,000 people in Magic, and I didn't know what it meant. And he said, well, Eli, do you know what the three biggest problems are? This is what, Jelena, about 15 years ago?
Yes.
He said, you know what the three biggest problems are in the world? I said, I don't. He said, poverty, and poverty. Now, this is 15 years ago. He said, Eli, the world is starving. He said, listen, when you can help a man and teach him how to take care of himself and his family, and then you could teach that man how to teach another man how to take care of himself and his family, then you will have social transformation. Because what you did is you taught that man social entrepreneurship. So when you're teaching a man social entrepreneurship, then you will have social transformation. And when you have social transformation, then you will have social well-being. And then it clicked, oh, that's what the banner on Mr. Assure's banner means. I'm spreading social well-being. But first, I have to teach social entrepreneurship by connecting with people's pain points. Not I'm some big shot. Look at me. Look at my house. Look at what I'm driving. Look at my clothing. No, I want to show them I'm just like them. And that's the relationship that you have to draw.
It's important to identify the why. What is their why? What is it that they're looking for? And we're all about building that relationship also, because as you're talking to your potential customers, distributors, or your friends or your family, you're showing them that you're caring and you're listening. We all know this, so it's important. So some may say, I wish I had more time freedom. I'm looking for a part-time job. I want to free up my wife. I want to free up my husband. I want to take care of my mom and my dad. So they're letting you know that's kind of their hot button. That's what we.
Somebody's sick. Somebody got fired. Somebody got divorced.
So that's where you can kind of bring it in and focus on what it is that they're looking for. And now with technology, as we all know, is just like changing in a speed of light and crazy. And unfortunately, I don't want to believe it, but I think a lot of people may be out of jobs because AI and whatever's unfortunately going to be taking over for them. So this is our answer. This is their answer. So, some of you, it might have taken one time to have a conversation, one time to see a presentation, one time to go to a website or a phone call. And some of you online here with us, it might have been 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, 1 year, 2 years. Maybe someone told you 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden you're at an event or you're at a party or anything, and someone walks up with a Kangen water bottle, or you go to their house and the machine is on the counter and you say, oh, somebody told me about that. And boom, 2 years later, now you're starting your Enagic business. So everyone has a time, ladies and gentlemen. We say also this, some will, some won't. You got to move on. But you always keep them in your pipeline because you just never know. It's about
the follow-up.
The fortune is always in the follow-up. And I'm sure there's a lot of us online here. They'll go into a room and they'll say, oh my gosh, I talked to that person a year ago and now they're in this person's team. Oh, well, fortune's in the follow-up. And it's happened to us many times. So, just follow up, stay consistent with them, find out what it is their why is, what they're looking for. And, we believe strongly in the face to face. That's how we that's exactly how we built our business. And
Old school.
yeah, we're
We
firm.
believe in old school and new
Yeah,
school.
we're firm believers.
Combination.
Yeah, on that.
Yeah, we don't just, yeah.
Thank you, David.
Great. So now, thank you for that insight. That was great. So now, when we identify the pain points, and let's say they said they believe in you and they join the business. So what next? How do we get them started, and how do you keep them motivated and sort of stay confident? And then, I mean, obviously we all know there's going to be up and downs.
Of
So
course.
how do we keep them to have a confidence, and keep the success mindset in mind?
Probably one of the first things that we would do when someone comes in, like we may know right in the very beginning. No, I'll just share and then I'll let you share. See, we both have so much to say.
Yes. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, we would like to hear that.
She's going to say, no, I want to say that. No, I want to say that.
We're not complaining at all.
Well, we have separate skills. So
Yeah.
I'm more the recruiter, and she.
Sometimes I'll be the opener too.
Oh no!
And then
She's phenomenal.
win and
No, she's phenomenal. But together, I'm the recruiter, and she's the how would you say?
I don't know. I'm just good, honey.
And together, I think together our combination of
no, it's a great combination.
We had a great combination of a husband wife that would embrace people, love on people.
But let me answer his question real quick, and then I'll let you talk, sweetheart. So how we would, obviously if it's an end user, we have a lot of customers, right? And then we have the distributors, but certain people just want to be end users, and that's okay. So an end user, just remember, John, if you've got friends who love water, who want to know more about health, or may be interested in even creating extra income, boom. And we'll always do a little drip on them every now and then.
He wants to know.
I know.
He wants to know, how do you get somebody started?
And I'm saying it right now. So when we know they're a business builder, the first thing you always want to know is, how do they want to get out of the gate going fast? Do they understand at least the complex and simplicity of that 8-point system? And where do you want to be? And how long do you think it's going to take you, David, to get to a 3A and a 6A? Now we're going to show you the roadmap of what it's going to take to do that. And if they're ready, boom. Go ahead, Eli.
The first thing you do when somebody gets started, because there's 3 things that you do.
Yep.
You share the product, you share the opportunity, and you build for events.
Yep.
The third is the most important by far.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything is an event. So if you're one-on-one, just you and somebody else, that's an event. If it's 1-on-2, that's you and there's 2, a husband and wife, that's 1-on-2, right? If you're doing a presentation in a house, in a hotel, at a restaurant, whatever that might be, those are the events. So my first objective when I meet a new person is in the first 3 to 7 days, I want to be at their home, not mine, at their home, their restaurant, their church, their hotel. I don't care. I'll be at their car and do it in the back of the trunk. I've done it. So what I'm saying is that the first thing I want to do is I want to book them to invite all of their friends, everyone that they know. Okay, if it's a pastor of a church, it's his whole congregation, and we'll come in and we're going to present for you. But that's the first thing I do. Now, so I right away let them know we're gonna book your first in home, your first in restaurant, your first in church, your first in hotel, your first whatever at your business, and that so. Short story. I'm at an event. Daniel D. McCulley is doing the presentation. I invite some people. I notice the husband at the end of the presentation, he gets up, he walks to the back. Then I see the wife, she gets up, she walks to the back. At the end of at the Sheraton Hotel in Ventura with Daniel D. McCulley and us. Okay? And there's about 150 people there, something like that. And this is, well, I don't know, 15 years ago. And the lady comes back, sits down, and she's a psychologist, some kind of doctor. And I said, uh, I said, are you ready? I looked at her. I said, are you ready to get started? Just like that. I said, are you ready to get started? Because I could read her body language. I could see how she was moving because you're watching. She said, oh, I love alkaline water. I know all about it. I've known about it for 30 years. She said, yes, I'm ready. And I said, fantastic. And I had my paperwork right there in my hand because I'm on a table and I'm across. And I go, okay, fill that out for me, please. Well,
Mhm.
her sponsor, who's like 65, I remember her. What was her name?
Virginia.
Virginia. And I said, Virginia, your guest is getting started right now.
Mm.
I took my paperwork and I said, Virginia, I'm going to need you to fill out your paperwork. She said, what? What do you mean? I said, well, it's very simple. Either I can sponsor her, so I can sign her up, I can sponsor, or you can. Which one would you like to do? She said, oh, okay, yeah, I'll fill out the paperwork. So she filled out the paperwork. So I said, Virginia, what day in the next 3 to 7 days can you have your can you how many people do you think you can get to your house, Virginia? Can you get 30, 40, 50 people to your house? She said, at least 30. I said, great. I said, what day? She goes, oh, I'm busy this month. She goes, I'm busy. She said, I'm busy this week. I said, I'm booked solid for the next month. So if you don't book on Wednesday, because that's my first opening, I won't be able to see you again for quite a while because people are waiting in line for the in-home presentations. She said, "Oh, okay." All of a sudden, she's not busy. I'll do it Wednesday, and and then I would call my wife and I'd say, "Can you go there first? Can you put on? Can you give the water bottles get them all ready and have that video? I want everyone watching that video before I walk in the room." Remember?
I
And
certainly
she'd be
do.
there, she's schmoozing and making friendly with everybody and everybody loving her and right?
I
I
do.
mean,
Yep.
because I didn't know how to always talk about it. So I like the video talk, do the talking, right? Third party credibility. My video is my third party credibility, right?
We didn't have all the understanding that we all have now. Like I said earlier, we're all so fortunate, and that we have access to so much. So that's what we would do.
Some of
Yeah.
these things. And of course, we started in home in our house, David.
Yeah.
We start within the first month.
Yep.
We started in home in our house every week. We did that in home every single week. I don't care if nobody showed up.
Yeah.
If
Every
we said
Monday night.
Monday night, it was Monday night. If nobody showed up, you can count on us next Monday night. If two people showed up, we were still there.
And we started our Saturday call, I think our second or third week here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Every
will
Saturday,
never
yeah.
forget. I had a famous guy. He was 89. He was 89. He was like almost 90 years old. And he was the first Mr. Pro America bodybuilder. His arms were 16 inches at 89. And his name was Steve Corey. He's passed away. It's been a long time. He passed away 10 years. I think he made it to 100. And I remember I said, Steve, because Steve was the one that said, could you start an in-home for me? I said, yeah, let's do it. And I remember when nobody showed up or one or two, and I said, Steve, that time's too valuable, man. I don't want to, I don't want to do this anymore. He said, and he looked at me, he said, don't you ever, like, this is how he talked to me. He said, don't you ever stop your Monday night. You always be there. And even though I was a professional network marketer, I kind of forgot for a moment, you know what I mean? And I needed a man that was older than me to kick my butt. And we never stopped for week after week after week and year after year. And then so we had our own in-home, but we also did in-homes in everybody else's places.
Yeah.
And then we moved it
Branched
to a
off to
restaurant.
restaurants.
We did restaurants for 10 years,
Yeah.
probably the longest of anybody.
Yeah.
And we would have 100 to 200 people a week.
Dinner was included.
And
Yeah.
I would say to the restaurant owner, "Hey, Mr. Restaurant Owner, what is your slowest night? Monday, Tuesday night? what if I can bring 50, 60, 100 more people to your restaurant? Would you give me your food for wholesale? I want it the
A
bare
flat rate,
minimum
yeah.
because I'm going to pass that cost to my distributor. I don't want to make any money. I just want to give them a good price. And I would tell everybody in an adjunct, it didn't matter if you were on my team, we did it for everybody in an adjunct. And we said, everybody can come, invite your friend to dinner. It's going to cost you $9. Invite your friend to dinner on Tuesday night. And we would do a presentation on a Tuesday night, and we would make it like Las Vegas. And she and the girls would run everything in the front. They would come in, and then we would stand on stage when we started, and we would bring in different presenters every week. My son mainly, or Omar, but we brought in Bob Grudelli, Danny McCulley, all of our downlines, everybody from around the world presented at that. So people always felt like they could hear somebody new or whatever. And we trap them for at least 2 hours because
Trap them.
they're eating.
Yeah, there you go.
And we're gonna bring shish kebab and stuff.
Yeah.
And they can't leave, so we can present. And we would always serve 9.5 because we wanted them to have some kind of feeling, even if And I could walk around the room and I could look at your eyes and I say, "How do you feel?" I feel good, or I feel funny. If they feel funny, I say, "Hang on," and I will go get a glass of 8.5, and to bring them back down again, or I give them a glass of 7. But I said, "You never felt water before, did you?" They said, "No." I said, "Something special about this water, huh?" So that's how we did it, but we never stopped.
Yeah.
Consistent effort over time produces results, like our meeting at the house. Consistent effort over time, every week, every people counting on you, knowing this is a long look, everybody, we love you guys. We want you to get something out of today. This business is about paying it forward.
Yes.
This business is about helping the next guy, and it's all about speed. This is a business built around speed. Okay? So, and it's
Speed of the team.
and it's built around the new person.
Yep.
So you're always thinking about bringing in the new person, not worrying about the old people that you brought, because if they're not moving, you better be moving,
Yeah.
right? So you're always moving forward, and you're always recruiting, and you're always making new friends. So we tell people, this is not the network marketing business. This is not the water business. This is not the business you think you're in. You are in the connection business.
Mm-hmm.
Your ability to connect with another human being and influence them, okay, is what we do. So when you can take a stranger and turn the stranger into your acquaintance, then take your acquaintance and turn him into your friend, and then take your friend and turn him into your partner. That's the business that you're in. And I tell everybody around the world when we teach and train that you do that in your business. I don't care if you're a mechanic. I don't care if you're a restaurant owner. I don't care if you're a doctor. I don't care. You're a real estate person. I don't care what business you are in. You are building relationships. And if they think you care, they care. And that's why the fortunes and the follow-up, you got to keep calling people back, whether it's a month later, a week later, 3 months later, how you got to keep track, because sometimes they're not ready. No doesn't mean no. It means no, not right now. My wife stood me up on my first date. She called me an hour before and made up some cockamamie story. I didn't get mad. I said, "Oh, I totally understand." And then the second date, she wasn't there where I was supposed to meet her. And then I got a tag. Remember those pagers?
Yeah.
And she said, "Well, my son," because she gave me a story about her son was sick the first time, and then and then the second time she said, "Oh, I know you're not gonna believe it, but my son is sick again." But believe me, when she said, "Well, you can come by the house for a quick glass of wine," on the second one, I ran. But that's the point. Then
the fortunes and the follow-up.
Just like dating. You don't date somebody and after you go out with them, if you had a nice time, you don't walk them to the door and say, "Good night, see you later." You say,
"Yeah,
I had a nice time. Did you have a nice? I had a nice time. Did you have a nice time? Oh, I'm so glad you said that. I'd love to see you again. Would you like to see me again? Oh, I'm so glad you said that." You're building a follow-up.
And then you got to ask for the sale. That's where we downfall sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. We're afraid to ask for the sale. So people want you to ask them for the sale. They want to be sold, so don't be afraid to ask for the sale. That we fall short in that. So it's important.
And you have to, and I'll leave this with you. I'll leave with this. What you have to do is you have to look at this company as your company.
Yes.
Your company.
You're
It's not
Mr.
David's
Sugar
company. It's not Dim Law's company.
Yeah.
It's not Elon's. It's your company.
Yeah.
You own an adjunct.
Yeah.
That's the way we felt.
Yeah.
We felt like we are the owners of an adjunct, and that's the way we treated everybody. And so the people would think we were the owners. So if I saw toilet paper on the bathroom floor, I pick it up. They say, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm cleaning my toilet, my bathroom. This is my company." So you have to take you can't look to
You do.
Oshuro,
Ownership.
Yes.
Yeah. And I always tell people too, our upline is great. And we want to thank them and bless them for introducing us to an adjunct, right? But it's not up to our upline at all, ladies and gentlemen, to make us successful. It's up to each of us individually. So remember that. So that's why, nobody told us to start a meeting in our home. We saw it,
started a call on Saturday mornings.
and we started our call on Saturday
mornings.
So we took
For
action.
16 years, we
Yeah.
never missed a Saturday.
We took action right away. Right away, we were the leaders. Our upline maybe said, okay, get a pH dropper and make sure you get this certain kind of water or maybe these certain kind of tomatoes. And there you go. Because back then, again, 21 years ago, the handful, literally 5 people, we didn't know much. So like Eli said, we rolled our sleeves up and we got busy, but we led. So be the leader. Each and every one of you, be the leader. It is up to you. It's not up to your upline. Thank them. But something also that's so wonderful about your beautiful community, the love. But you guys are so strong. You understand the importance of events. I see all your posting on social media and Dimlaw. Well, you guys just were in, I believe, with Romy. I think you guys were in Florida, right? And just the pictures there. And when you come out here and in Texas, and you're always doing that. So this is a community, and it's a community of helping people and paying it forward, because the world is in a sad place all over. And one thing
people are disconnected, so you got to help them connect.
One thing that I feel really strong about, and I know Eli does, and I know all of you do too, is hope. So in adjunct, a lot of companies out there, and especially in network marketing, it's all about the hype. We don't have that here. We have hope. So it's giving people hope, whether it's hope from better health, okay? Because if someone comes in loving the product, they're going to also eventually, if they understand it, they will also love the amazing business that's attached. And for us, we didn't understand anything about really the product 21 years ago.
I'm more about lifestyle freedom.
So
I'm more about lifestyle freedom.
We came in about the business, but then we fell in love.
The credibility came from the product.
Yeah.
So we led with the product because it has the credibility of the company, and then the opportunity and the compensation plan, and then we've introduced them to the environments.
We used to laugh, when we did demonstrations. We would spend an hour talking about the water and the pH drops and the this and that. And then it was maybe 10 minutes, on the whiteboard, we'd show the 8 points, because anything past that, it was a lot for people, as we all know. So it was that basic 8 points. But, knowing your product, ladies and gentlemen, knowing the basics of, the machines, how they operate, that's important too. And I know you guys are so well versed on the product.
But the thing is, it's the mindset. The young lady at the front, she started the call. Lucy talked about mindset. It is the mindset.
Yes.
Okay. The mindset is you never stop. It's 24/7. You want to know what I did in the beginning? 24/7. If we're at a family barbecue, everybody's downstairs eating, I'm upstairs on a call. Where's Eli? He's got a phone attached to his ear. My phone went on my ear everywhere I went, 24 hours a day. I didn't stop, 7 days a week. On a Sunday, Monday, my day off, in between, whatever. So do you have a burning desire? How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
That you have, and you have to understand, listen to me. This company is a phenomenon. I really want you to understand this. We've owned network marketing companies. We've been founders. We've been co-founders of a company that went on the NASDAQ that brought in millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. We left that founder, I told you, because he was not a good person. And I told my wife while she was crying, and I got on my last call to our thousands of people. And I used to have them stand up. We used to have them stand up every Monday night on our call and say, stand up and say, big team rhinos rule. And then on our call, I said, sit down because we got something to share with you. And we said, we're leaving. And she was crying on the floor while I was saying good night because we had found out the founder wasn't a good person. And I said, well, I will rather shine shoes than work for a crook. And the problem is that so many companies are not real. They have a lot of hype, like she said, that you guys got to be careful with this because you think you're going to walk in and you're going to maybe make some fast money you want a company that's long-term,
Yes.
that's solid. We watched Enagic go from 100 sales a month to over 30, 40,000 machine sales a month, and they keep growing, and he keeps buying businesses and golf courses and hotels, and that means the company is profitable and it's going to be here for your children, your children's children. This is a phenomenon to have a product that's life-changing, a compensation that's over 70% back to the field, to the distributor.
So we must protect it.
The first 10 people that I brought in the company, only one made a sale. The first 10 people that I brought into Enagic, only one made a sale, and that person canceled their machine. So it was the 11th person I brought in, Michael, okay, who I met. I took him to the Queen Mary with Mr. Ashuro, and he brought a Filipina. He brought a Filipina to the meeting. She had 4 kids, and she was a professional network marketer.
Careful.
I connected with her like. She says, yeah. And so when she put Bob Gridelli on the phone, who interviewed me for almost an hour on the phone, I said, Bob, we've been on the phone almost an hour talking about your friend that has this illness. Okay. Why don't you meet me at Torrance and we'll do a private presentation for you so you can really see it with your own eyes. Okay. And so the bottom line was that, and back to the 10 people, that 11th person was the one who brought the girl, who brought Bob, and Bob didn't want to join. Bob Gridelli did not want to join this business. When I gave him the paper to sign for the W-9, he said, no, I'm not interested in your business. I only want to buy the machine from my friend who's dying. That's the only reason I'm interested. If this machine remotely does what you say, it's worth $4,000 to help my friend. Okay. And I said, Bob, you don't understand. That machine has a mind of its own and it has little feet on it. And it's going to walk off this table, whether you and I like it or not. I said, sign the paper, please. Just sign it because somebody may tell somebody and I want you to get the commission. Well, the girl who brought in, what happened was his boss, Daniel Ciccarella, flew in with Bob Gridelli, and they were in the meeting, and they were there to visit the sick friend. Well, what happened? The friend started getting better from drinking, hydrating, whatever, and the employer, Bob's employer, who Bob signed up as boss, went back to Houston, where he was from, Houston, Texas, and he sold 28 machines in the first month. So Bob got 28 checks, and Bob didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
So it's and I remember because the girl that he came to the meeting with, Vicky, they were going to do some other program, and she was mad at him because he had the checks going to her house. He had all the checks going to her house, and she was calling him. She said, you promised me you were going to do this W something with me. You lied to me. He said, no, it's not me, Daniel Ciccarella, not Daniel McCullough. Ciccarella keeps selling machines. It's not me, but I'm going to go start this business because I don't know how I got the 28 checks, but I'm going to go do this, and you can go do the other thing. And then he would do what I trained him to do, put a video in, serve the water, and get us on the phone for the third-party credibility testimony. And so the back to the first thing about the 10, you can't stop. You can't stop because someone didn't make a sale. Remember, the first 10 people and the one that I signed up that made a sale, that sale canceled. Only one had made a sale and that sale canceled. So I just, because if you're moving forward, people will feel it.
Yeah.
The speed of the team is determined by the speed of its leader.
And each and every
It's like
one of
this.
you are
You ever
leaders.
been in the? You ever see the snow dogs? The dogs in the snow. If that front dog don't move, the dogs in the back can't move. Okay. So if they go fast, I go fast. They go slow, I go slow. Okay. The speed of the team is determined by the speed of the leader. But I'm going fast all the time, so people are looking at
Yeah.
Jelena and Eli, and they're going, "Oh wow, look at them go!"
Can't give up. You can't give up. Yeah, and you can't quit.
And this is interesting. My upline at the time, I had 1, 2, 3, 4 people between Cynthia and us. Then there was Romy, then there was JV. Well, 3 of them eventually got,
Well, they're no longer here.
they're no longer with the company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I remember saying, why is my upline going faster than me? They said, Eli, you and Jelena's sales are making your uplines all bigger
Go up.
ranks. So
Yeah.
Romy and JV and Cynthia and everybody's ranks were going up because our team was the #1 producing team in the world.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying this to please.
Back then it
We're
was-
just
it was
talking.
great,
We're
yeah.
just talking family talk. Okay.
Yeah.
But what I realized was, oh my gosh, you know, as your sales will come in, well, that's also helping your upline. But don't worry about that.
Yeah,
don't worry about your
never,
upline.
never look up. Always
Don't
look
look
down.
up. Look at
Yeah.
the people in your business
Yeah, 'cause
and
they're
help
gonna.
them.
Yeah, they're gonna help.
Bad
you.
news goes up. Good news goes down. Don't ever complain to your downline or your distributors, people. Don't ever do that. Okay? You can tell the person who brought you in or somebody above that it's something that you're not happy about, but you never tell that to the people in your business. You don't share those things. You want to stay positive always. But the bottom
And
line
never
is
give up. Never quit.
this
Never,
this
never,
company
never.
is a phenomenon.
Yeah.
You probably will not see it again in your lifetime.
Yeah.
And we realized that right away. We said, oh my gosh, we could pass this on to our children, our children's children. My son is turning -5, my daughter turning -3, my sisters are turning 682. I mean, this is a family business. So imagine traveling the world with your family, your children. This is the one. Forget about the changes that the company makes. Company is always going to be changing and growing, and the bigger they get, that's what companies do. But this company is not going anywhere. You have to, well, everything, if you take a shot at something else, I promise you, you don't know if it's going to be around next month, next year. We've seen it time and time again. None of the companies that we've got involved with are even around anymore. None of them. So, that's the thing that you're blessed. If you're struggling, doesn't matter. It's okay. My first 10 people didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Well, we all
just keep moving forward,
Yeah.
and you'll find your diamond in the rough, or you'll find your Daniel McCulley, or your Bob, or your Dang Win, or your Dim Law, and you can find her. The Dim Laws are out there. I remember when Dang talked to me about Dim Law, he said, Eli, she's like 20 levels down below me, but she's strong and she's motivated. And I'm going to Virginia. I'm going to go support. And I
Texas,
said, well, I think,
Texas.
I don't know where Dim Law, I think from, but that back, I had that conversation years
Yeah.
ago. I said to myself, wow, smart, very smart. I don't look, oh, I'm not making points in my 8
Yeah.
points. I don't do that.
No.
If I got a runner and that runner is 10, 20 levels down, I don't, because the
And
business,
put on your tennis shoes and
the
start
business
running.
starts
Yeah.
at 6A2. Of course, you want to become a 2A, a 1A, a 2A, a 3A, 4A. Keep going. But the bottom line is that the business starts at 6A2. So you just don't know where those runners are, but you got to help them and you got to support them, because two people in this business will retire you. 2 on separate legs, 2 legs, 2 teams side by side. Then once you got your two, then you can have a third, a fourth, a fifth, and they can come down the same lines, no problem. But first, you have to have the two on two separate lines to hit your 6A2. So, you know, as you're ranking up, it's don't worry about it. Don't worry about it so much.
Yeah, it's not
The,
a race.
the longest stretch is between 5A and 6A. It's a long stretch, but you just got to keep going because it's gonna happen. And if you don't do it, somebody else is gonna do it. It's just the bottom line. They'll see the opportunity,
But
and
it's not a race either. It's not a race.
no, it's not.
Yeah, it's not a race. And people have to remember that. And, you go through the ups and downs, all of us. We could be here 6 months, 6 years, 10 years. And that's what's great about holding each other accountable, and having a team and having mentorship and reading, great books or watching good videos and stuff to help give each other and give yourself that motivation sometimes that we need. Because even as leaders or top income earners, or don't you think Mr. Oshiro, he's going to need a little bit of help too sometimes? Sure. So we all need to re-energize our battery, our soul, our heart. So whatever it takes, that's what we got to keep doing.
You don't stop. We did calls every Saturday morning for 16, 17 years.
Or then you hear,
You never miss a Saturday.
Or you hear a beautiful
Consistent effort.
story that someone shares with you, whether it's a physical health story or a financial situation story, and then that light bulb goes on again and you say, aha, this is why I am here. This is what God has, said. This is our path for right now. And to share that vision, and it's me. I'm a firm believer of hope and giving that hope, because we need it every day.
We sold to everybody, but I look for business builders.
Yeah. Or we also
entrepreneurs, entrepreneur-minded people.
Yeah, because
even if they don't own a business, but if they have an entrepreneur mindset,
or they understand,
that's what I want.
Yeah, because sure, we can sell 100 machines all day long to an end user, but if we sell that one machine to someone who has a business mind or is an entrepreneur or the burning desire, that one person is going to bring you 100 machines to, get himself to get him to 6.
So think about this. The girl that brought Daniel DiMicali to me, and I did a presentation for Daniel DiMicali, Daniel did not join her. He did not join her because he saw her going from company to company. She was like a network marketer. What happened was 6 months later, a guy by the name of Bob Gradelli, who was in Daniel, because Daniel used to be a founder of a travel company. And Bob had never really made any money. So when Bob saw how well Bob was doing,
when Daniel saw,
then he said, oh, wow. Okay. Then he joined. So what I'm saying is that first presentation that I did for Daniel, he didn't join. Thank God Bob Gradelli was in my downline as well. And then he joined through Bob. So it was the second time he saw it. That's what she was saying before. You have the fortunes of the follow-up. So because someone says no, doesn't mean no. It means no, not right now. So you keep you keep a thing. You're going to call them in 30 days or whatever. I signed on people a year later. I've signed people, one of my biggest guys 3 years later, one of my biggest guys 5 years later.
Yep.
One of my guys 10 years later. I know that may sound crazy, but because when they see that you haven't moved and they see you're consistent and they see that you're doing well, then all of a sudden you find them at a pain point, like David, you said, when they're not doing so good, maybe. And
and maybe that's their time. It's also their time when they're ready, so.
Yeah.
So
it's great. Wow.
We've talked a lot.
Yeah.
Everybody like it so far? All this great motivation and information. You agree with me? Give Eli, Georgina, a lot of hearts and large hearts and thumbs up.
Who's down there?
Lucy, go ahead, Lucy. You're taking away.
Look.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the beautiful.
We love you guys.
Lucy's talking.
We love you. Love you guys. Thank you so much for the beautiful advice about the pain point, the importance of consistency, and how we should never give up once we're with Enagic because it's a solid company. It's been here for now more than 50 years, and there's real people, real testimonies, and real success stories. And I would like to ask you another question as a representative of the younger generation who is now joining Enagic. And on this Zoom, there are also many young people just like me, and I would like to hear your perspective on the kind of like also turning point of Enagic. Now there are like two generation merging, and is your advice to these younger people who are now finding their paths maybe throughout their schools, or many students might not or many younger people might not be in schools anymore, and they are kind of like searching for their directions in life, and now they're coming up and they just found out about Enagic. And what is your kind of like advice to these younger people?
I want to say
Yes.
something first. So yes, younger
Thank you.
people like myself also, Lucy.
Yes.
Exactly.
I know all about those youngins. No, so education in the schools, that's wonderful. But for those, the younger generation that's, taking a look at Enagic now and that's on board with Enagic, my first advice to them, my first thing would be congratulations, and you found your home. What happens with the younger generation right now is someone's going to dangle things in front of them, little shiny objects. Oh, sign right here, join this thing, put in $5,000 and AI is going to automatically make you money, or, you can do this and you can do that. No, you got to stay focused on the one. You must. There's nothing wrong with if you want to buy a piece of real estate and you're having some investment or whatever little investment, but your business, your device or your vehicle that is going to give you true time freedom, true financial freedom, and of course, physical health freedom is Enagic. So for the younger generation, my biggest advice, as I said, is just stay focused. Follow the path, protect the ship, protect Enagic. Don't do funny games. Don't try to manipulate comp plans. Don't promise people that you can make them a 6A or they're going to make money to join your team. Be honorable, have integrity, be ethical the way you have your business and you treat your business, and just stay focused. Don't let those shiny objects take you off course. And you, younger generation, have such a huge advantage with social media, with, technology and the things that it does. But again, be honest with all of that and utilize it. Take advantage of it. We don't really utilize social media to build our business. We have found some great people that, would send us a message on Facebook or something. And, we built tremendous success with those. But for the younger generation, that would be my biggest thing, is just stay focused. This is your home, and Enagic is your home. Protect it. And, we brought in fact, in Mr. Oshiro's book, on the second to the last page, I'll get the book, is a picture of you and I, Eli, with Mr. and Mr.
All the
Oshiro,
young people.
with young people that we brought in maybe 15
years
about
yeah,
15, maybe 15 years
Yeah,
ago, maybe
yeah,
12 years
yeah.
ago. And
Yeah.
and we love the younger generation,
Yeah.
we love them. We're so
Yeah.
excited that
Yeah,
they're here.
we're
But we are the the OGs. So
We're-
just remember, we paved the way here. We paved the way. So
Yeah.
and we love it.
we actually are the ones that helped Balaj. So when Balaj approached me, he was only a 2A at our event. It was called either Samurai Saturday, or it was
It was
the
our GU.
GU event, which means to be free.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to train him, even though it was from a different team. And so I introduced him to one of my very best friends, who's a professional network marketer. We got him trained as an experiment. It was an experiment for an adjunct. Even though he wasn't on my team, I didn't want to cross recruit him. I wanted to, we use it as an experiment. So my friend coached him 2 hours a week for about 4 months, got him to 6A. And then we brought in a developer named Cameron. That's the real story. And we brought in the Cameron who helped build him a system. And we used it as an experiment for Enagic because, again, we care about Enagic being successful, not just ourselves. But regarding the young people,
what would you tell them?
I am going to tell them. So the thing about the young people, like for example, one of my proteges, Armand, who's in my business for the last 11 years here at Enagic, he tells me all the time because he has time freedom. And so he has twin children, and he's with them every day, and he's walking around, and he's always seeing young couples in their 20s and their 30s. And they always say to him, wow, we see you here at the collection all the time. You have all this time with your children, and we're working. We're parents, and yeah, we're in our 20s, yeah, we're in our 30s, and we're still working, and but you're here and you have time freedom. And that's the thing. When you are here and you're succeeding, okay, and you're doing well, and you start getting your time freedom because you're ranking up, you're making the income, because the income here can be extraordinary.
Oh, wait,
okay?
Stop you real quick on that one. Talking about
I
that.
don't want to lose my thought.
Don't lose your thought.
I'll lose my thought.
Okay.
Okay. I'll lose, you know me, I'm 72 years young, so I forget quickly. So what I'm saying is that the pain point, like David talked about earlier, of the younger couples, my daughter, for example, Tiana, just had her third child. He's now 9 months. The next one above it is 2.5. The next one above that is 5.5. So she's got one big breastfed here, one she's holding over there. And when people see that she's able to stay at home because of Enagic, and that her and her husband have this successful Enagic business, and that they could raise be with their children all of the time. Same thing with my son Wadia and his wife, who's 15 years younger than him, and he's got a 2-year-old and a 8-year-old and a 15-year-old and a 24-year-old. You know, they see dads at home. And when they see dads at home working, the young people love that. So like Jelena said, when you, the young person that's on this call, when you see that this is magic, Enagic is really magic, okay? And you get behind this project and you start building your business, and all of a sudden you have all this extra time, and now you're going to fire your boss if you have a job, because they can't afford to keep you anymore because you're making more money than the job is paying you. Other people that you meet, you now have a story to sell. You have a story to share. Facts tell, stories sell. So what I'm sharing with you right now is that when you become the example of what they want, and they look at your life and they see that you have time freedom to be with your family and to do what you want, you know, whether you talk to them a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, believe me, I hear it from my young people all the time. The young people, they want that. They don't want to be slaves like we were, the parents.
Freedom.
So you guys are in a different time. When we grew up, the only way we could get ahead is become an entrepreneur, which means I'd have to go buy a salon. Like in my case, I have a landlord. Now I got to have employees.
Yeah.
Now I got to pay taxes, FICA, Fed, OSHA, workers' comp, right? Now I'm in linear income. There's two kinds of incomes. There's leveraged income, and linear income. Linear income means you're trading an hour for $1 for your time, your knowledge, your product, your service. The doctor, the lawyer, the engineer, the mechanic, the cook, everybody mostly works in linear income, right? They're trading an hour for $1. All right. In our side, We're in the leveraged income side, the residual income side, the money while you sleep money side, the mailbox money side, meaning that, like Tom Cruise, the actor, he makes a movie. When it plays, he's making income. Well, you guys already know that. But when people see, when you're making leveraged income, residual income, and because you're reaching the ranks, you're working hard, you're 1A, 2A, 3A, you hit a 6A, 6A2, and at 6A2, you start getting that leveraged income, because you're getting monthly incentives, quarterly incentives, on top of the 8 point daily income that you're making here. So you're getting paid daily within AGIC, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. And then now you're also getting paid monthly and quarterly. So when you're experiencing that, and other young people that you're sharing your story online or in person, however you want to market it, at the end of the day, you're still connecting with human beings. You got to remember that.
Yeah.
I meet some of these online marketers, and I won't give you names, and I talk to them, and they tell me they will not work with somebody that's out of their 8 points. And I say to myself, what?
Yeah.
They say, no. Someone's out of their 8 points. Oh, we want to show them our lifestyle freedom, and we don't want to be so available. We want to show them that we have time freedom. I said, yeah, but if they don't think you care, they don't care. So we believe in high touch, high tech, high touch, high tech.
Yeah.
So you still got to touch people,
Yep.
and you can use technology, and you can marry them together. It's the same thing that we did back in the day when we ran ads in newspapers and back of restaurant receipts, and people would call us, and we would meet them somewhere at a country club or whatever we did.
My one thing now.
No, you're going to say, but the point I want them to understand is you have to be that example first.
Right. But who, okay, let me ask you, if we could go back 21 years ago,
Yes.
when we signed up in an adjunct,
Yes.
who do we wish our sponsor would be?
Wait a minute. Is this a trick question?
No, you got to think.
Who do we wish that our sponsor would be? Ourselves.
No. Your mother or your father?
Oh, yeah. I wish I would have made my father. I wish I would have put my parents above me. Yeah.
Think about that, younger
Oh, wow. You could
generation.
retire your family, your parents.
Yeah. What a blessing. What a gift to give back to your mom and dad if you're
That's
able to do that. Sure, we were able, God bless our parents aren't with us, but when
Somebody wants to sponsor you, but they can sponsor your parent, then your parents sponsor you.
So that's what I definitely would say to the younger generation. Because
Yeah.
to help your mom, to give back to your mom and dad. That would be
Anyway.
pretty
That's off subject,
Yeah.
but David,
not off subject.
David, I love you and Lucy's questions. You have
We've
to be.
taken so much of their time, so
But
let us.
we'll stay on as
Wow.
long as you want. But the point is that you guys have to be the example first. You got to jump in. You got to roll up your sleeves. You got to get to work. You got to make it happen, and you got to stay focused on one project.
Yeah,
Because if they see you all over the place, they won't take you seriously.
yeah.
Sorry.
And just because someone
know?
reaches a rank of 6A or 6A2 or 6A23, don't think that you can stop working. Don't do that. Yeah, don't.
I mean, we don't have to work. We really don't. We haven't had to work for over a decade. We really don't. Maybe 15 years. I would say
But we did.
we were
we-
pretty
we
established
still
in our
did think
first
so.
year. In our first year, we had our two people in the first year. So we really, but the point is that we do it because we love it.
Yeah.
We love the community. This is the best community, the best culture, and we never miss an event ever. And we
describe the business.
and we
Let's
stand
see what
behind
else
the
she has to
company. We
say.
stand
Thank
behind what
you.
we're doing, and
Go, Lucy.
we're all for that. So
That's amazing. That's so beautiful. And I would like to thank you for your amazing, valuable advice for all of us, not just the younger generations, as you've just shared your inputs now, but also for all of us here, whether they're parents' generation or grandparents' generation. It was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. We
Hey, I
hope-
asked you a question, Eli and Angeline. I think
Sure.
we were on the I think the very sensitive matter here when we're talking about high
lost
touch
you.
and high tech. Yeah, as we approaching the high tech, time point here, where social medias and all those social platforms, TikToks and stuff. How would you still doing the same? Was you still doing the same way? And how would you combine? How would you combine the new way of approaching people through social media and the old way and make it work, especially for the younger generation? Would you share some insight on that, please?
Well, obviously, people are posting their lives, and they're getting attraction marketing towards themselves and what they do. And when you get people wanting to know who you are and what you do, um, that's that's how you can begin the subject of sharing what you do. It is advisable to learn how to use the technology to also meet people. That is something that a lot of the young people know how to do, and the more contacts you have, the more people that you talk to. You don't want to have lead generation poverty. You always want to have a lot of prospects in the pipeline, because the pipeline, think of it like a 90-day pipeline. We always say all out massive action. So when you go all out massive action and you do like a 90-day, 3-month program, and you're using um, your technology through TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all the different platforms out there in terms of sharing,
Your content. Yeah.
who you are, content about you. You're also telling stories about people in an adjunct, or maybe talking about your stories of freedom, that you're able to spend time freedom with your family at a young age, and people want to know what it is that you do. Um, you definitely want to marry the two, 100%.
Absolutely.
If you guys know how to use technology, by all means, use it. At the same time, you're meeting people. We went out to Mastro's last night, and we met everybody. We couldn't help it. Just
Yeah.
people behind us, people in front of us, people to the side of us. I mean, my gosh, I already have somebody texting me back already
Yeah. So,
right now,
yeah.
and it's just so you're always meeting people. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Behind me, I've got like 10 books. Okay. And I've got like 10 of these. Seriously. These are old. These are really old. But if I was to open it up, okay, if I was to open it up,
But bottom line, it's when you're meeting people, you just don't want to give them your information or your business card, because chances of them following up with you may not happen. So you always also want to get their information.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not about giving your card,
Yeah.
it's about getting a card.
Yeah.
It's not about giving your number.
Yep.
It's about getting their phone number.
Yes, exactly.
Because they probably will not call you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you give your card to 100 people, you'll be lucky if one calls you back.
So the
it's
high
about,
touch, definitely, and the high tech,
Yeah.
absolutely. You can utilize that. Take advantage of it.
so if you look here, these are people that I meet that I meet. I would
that
have-
was earlier on.
Well, this is
Yep.
way back when I started. These are all
Yeah.
names of people.
Yeah.
These are all
I don't
names of
know if they
people.
can see it,
There's
but
hundreds. Hundreds.
See, that was before technology.
Hundreds before
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah.
I don't care if you meet them online at
Yeah.
TikTok or
Yeah.
Instagram, and I know who they are,
Yeah.
what their background is, if they're married, if they're working, if they're not, and it's page after page,
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Look,
Yeah.
and this is only one book. What does that mean? Because you are inviting. You are you're in the inviting business. You're inviting people, whether it's through technology or whether it's in person, and how you attract them into your world, into your opportunity. Now, we just launched a weekly training here at Enagic
Yep.
through EWS.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can utilize the presentation calls. You can utilize the training on there. You can build your community around that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's
That's important to do.
free
too.
and available to you.
Yeah.
So you could attract people to come and look at those things with you.
Take advantage of it all, and you'll find your niche. You'll find, what's going to fit best for you, what you like to do. But if you understand the social media, the new True Health, platform, utilize it, because everyone is going to like something. And remember that, what may work for you, you may find me, let's say hypothetically, on social media or something, but maybe I'm not real comfortable about getting myself out there on social media. Maybe I like more the high touch. So we want to let our customers, our prospects know that everything and anything works. So just find what you're best comfortable
It's
at.
about getting
Yep,
leads.
yep.
Like you just saw, hundreds and thousands.
Yeah.
So if I
Knowing
call
which way to
20,
win.
if I call 20 people and they turn me down, it doesn't matter. I got a 21st. I got a 22nd. I'm not looking for everybody. I'm not. I'm looking for one.
Yep.
Just looking for one. You know what I mean? And so one Thomas Vu. I'm looking for one Dim Law. I'm looking for one
David, one Lucy.
David, one Lucy.
And
I'm looking.
hopefully that helped, some of what the
Yeah.
younger generation is,
And
looking
Yeah.
when you have,
Yeah.
if you're a young person on this call,
Yeah.
and you've got time freedom like my children do, people always want to know, how are you able to be with your family all the time?
Yeah.
How are you able to be with your children all the time? You become that example, whether you provide that information online so people see into your life, or you do it in person, doesn't matter.
Well, think about how
know.
good you feel though too. For you are now an inspiration, a mentor to someone in your younger generation. You're just not these people on YouTube who put their face on someone else's video and go,
Yeah.
and make silly, stupid money by doing that. You're making, you're building a wonderful business that's truly helping people. You are doing something that you absolutely are proud of, and you're making a difference in people's lives. So.
Definitely. And I think that with the social media, it's also very important, as you mentioned, whether it's offline or online, to build the personal brand and to become the person who is the leader, who can lead the others. So we should lead by example of us. And that's where I think it's very valuable to be in Enagic, because like myself, I learned all these skills through Enagic. I was not shy anymore to communicate in front of here on this call, because I used to always have public anxiety, but now it's like I'm getting more comfortable with it. I'm also having more inspiration to learn languages and so many skills that we can learn on one platform, which we can utilize for our personal branding and become more interesting people and become the leading examples of our generations. And I think that with all that you said, it totally concludes into these beautiful, beautiful lessons for all of us. And yeah, and I want to ask maybe one last and final question, that what would be your advice for everyone to, after the Zoom, what would be the step they should be taking from now and onwards, so they can always the one consistent step that they can move forward with it and have the fulfillment in themselves that they're making progress.
You got to make a list. You got to make a list of everybody that you know. Everybody you know. Like if you were going to get married right now, how many people would you invite to your wedding? That's the list. How many people did you go to school with? That's the list. How many people did you work with? That's the list. How many people that you're meeting daily? That you got to have people that you're going to be. You don't want to have lead poverty consciousness. You want to have lots of people that you can talk to, because you want to get into action.
Yeah, it's that
And
all-out massive
all out
action.
massive action that we
Yeah.
talked about. So if I'm going to say to myself, Jillian and I are going to work all out massive action for 90 days, and we're filling a pipe, think of it like a pipeline, and we're putting these prospects in the pipeline that we met, they went on to a call, they had an after call for a three-way. They didn't quite jump in yet, but we're going to follow up on them. And all of a sudden, you'll see at the end of 90. Now, what do I do the second 90 days? I do it again. All out massive action. So think of it like quarters of a year. The first quarter, 3 months, January through March. Second quarter, April through June. Third quarter, July through September. And the fourth quarter, October through December. You're all out massive action in talking to people, sharing, bringing them on presentation calls, and being able to introduce them to people on your team, to your leaders, to other people, so they hear testimonies and stories. And so you're always in that all-out massive action. You have
Right.
plenty of prospects to talk to all of the time. Otherwise, you get desperate and now you're bugging somebody because you only had three people you talked to. You only had four people you talked to. So now you keep bugging them and calling them back up, but you're moving fast, you're moving forward. That's why I don't go anywhere. I don't think you've as long as you've noticed, you don't go anywhere with Eli unless if you're 3 feet from my body,
he's going to talk
I'm
to
getting
you.
your number.
Yeah. But,
You know what I mean? It's just the way it is.
but also just from even this, this,
Or on social media,
yeah, like how you
personal brand, like Lucy just said.
right. And how you said, what can they do? What can all of you do? All of us, Eli and I, what are we going to get from the call too? And, hopefully you're taking notes or whatever it may be. So what I would say is take a couple things that you got from the notes, because we've all been in events and seminars and trainings and we're writing down our notes, and then we close that notebook, or we may not look at our notes on our phone again. And then what do? But you must take action. So let's just say that there were, 2 or 4 key points for each and every one of you that you got off this call today. And I would focus on those key points that you got. And now what are your steps going to do? Wow, Eli said this, or Jelena said this. And now what do I have to do to make that step? So as you said, it's that all out massive action, and it's going forward. So from today, what did you all get off of this call? And I would take that and run with that. We might have said that one thing that did the little light bulb in your beautiful minds and souls, and made a difference. So hopefully that's what we did. Is
When
made a difference.
when we were in Magic in our 7th year, we developed this. We had audio tapes, we had videotapes, and we had 10 steps, and we called it the system before anybody, right? And said, change your water, change your life, the action plan for success.
They see it backwards.
And when you look at it,
They'll see it backwards though, honey.
Huh?
Because I don't think they can read it, honey.
Yeah, but the point of the matter is, it says first step, goal setting, define your why, like David asked earlier. Step 2, getting started, your checklist. Number 3, be a product of the product. You got to own a unit. You got to be drinking the water, right? Number 4, make your list. Everyone you know. Number 5, learn how to invite. You got to become professional inviters, right? Number 6, master the presentation. Number 7, third-party validation. Number 8, follow up, ask for the order. Number 9, build for events. And number 10, take short-term massive action. And that was how we began training everybody. We talked about the system here. We talked about our story. And then we took each one about, in the book as they went through it. And we gave out like 5,000 of these like that. And people have asked us to do it again, but maybe we will. I think we might, but we'll do it differently. But the point is that you gotta follow these steps, these early steps that we just discussed. And I'm happy to send it to you if you want. But the point is that you like it said right here. The first thing you got to define your why. Why are you doing this? It says right here, step 1, goal setting. Why are you doing it? What's your purpose? Why are you here? Why do you want an agent? And then number 2, getting started. So make your checklist for your office and your everything to start up, to get everything ready to go. And number 3, be a product of product. You got to buy a machine. If you didn't buy a machine yet, you got to get one. Sorry, but you got to get one now, right away. And if you want to do 2 or 3 or whatever, that's up to you. And then be a product of product. You got to be drinking it. So we don't go anywhere without this. We go into the best restaurants. We're drinking all. We don't want their water. So what is that? So be a product of product. And again, make your list. But all these different things is you got to master those steps. And as you do that, how can you not make it?
That's right.
Just know how not to be successful.
May we have that system, please, Eli?
You know what? You know what? I'm going to make duplicates of it, and I will get it to you.
Great, great.
Absolutely.
We were talking about that the other day when we had a Zoom with our group, and I was laying out the 4 or 5 steps. That was exactly what you're doing, and I
Oh,
would love to have that and kind of
okay.
translate it and make it into a Vietnamese. That'll be wonderful. I would really
Okay. Okay.
thank
Okay.
you.
Definitely.
Wow.
Thank
Thank you. Okay. You're getting me excited now.
See? There you go.
Okay,
No,
all
we
right.
all got motivated.
Yeah, thank
For the
you.
young people, you guys, you're so lucky. You're blessed
Yeah.
to be here. It's very confusing out there.
Yeah.
There's a
Well,
lot, so
welcome
many
home.
opportunities. You don't know to the
Welcome
left,
home.
to the right, opportunity to the left, opportunity to the right. You up one here, you don't know where to go. You found it. This is it. Stay focused right here. Just start being the leader that you're looking for. You be that, and be an example to people, and have plenty of people to talk to. Like Lucy said, create your personal brand online. You know, do attraction marketing, all that, um, and have the mindset. I brought a couple in the very beginning. They were one of my main couples. They're not around anymore. They both died, the husband and the wife. And I'll never forget when I called Tony and Doug Banks, and I called Tony, and she turned me down when I told her about an adjunct. Called her in my 4th month, and she said, "I'm absolutely not interested. It sounds really weird. Water? What do you mean water?" And I said, "It's okay, Tony. I know you for 10 years. I love you. I love you anyways. It's okay." Um, and then I did the follow up. I'd call every month. Well, all of a sudden, the phone number that I had for 10 years on Tony Banks was disconnected. Well, I grabbed one of my books where Tony's name was, and right below Tony's name was another name. So I called the name below, and I called the person. I said, "Do you know who Tony Banks is? I can't get a hold of her. I've known she's a network marketing friend for 10 years, and I can't get a hold of her." He said, "Oh, you haven't heard?" I said, "Heard what?" He said, "Oh, Tony and Doug Banks are homeless. They lost their house. They're sleeping on the floors and couches of their relatives with their 5 kids." I said, "You're kidding me." He said, "I'll give you her number, but don't tell her that I gave it to you. She doesn't want to talk to you." This is a true story. This is 20 years ago. And I said, "Oh, thank you." Because when I called him, the first thing I said, "I have your number, but I don't know who you are. Do you know who I am?" That's literally what I said. He said, "Well, everybody knows who you are." I said, "Oh, okay." That's how the conversation started, because I write down people's names. Okay. So when I called Tony the next time, I said, "Tony, it's Eli. Honey, is it true you and Doug are homeless?" And she said, "Oh, we've made such a mess of our life." And I said, "Tony, for God's sakes, the water is free. There's a presentation coming to Salt Lake City, Utah," because they were Mormons out from the LDS community. They're the best network marketers. Okay, that's why one of the reasons I called Tony. And I said, there's a presentation coming to your town. And I said, I promise, if you go to that presentation, I promise, Tony, I won't call you anymore. I won't bug you anymore. And she thought, "Oh gosh, I can get Eli off of my back." So she goes to the presentation. She has really bad psoriasis. Now, I don't want to talk too much about that, but
Yeah.
the point is that that got her interested, because hydration is important for all of us, for health. And she didn't have any money, so she showed the medical DVD of Dr. Shidya, like what I had. That's all I had, pulling polyps out. She showed it to a doctor's wife. He was an anesthesiologist. And the doctor looked at that video, and in 15 minutes, he says to Tony, "I want that machine in my office this week." And she said to him, "Not only would you buy a machine from me, but would you buy me a machine? And I promise I will give you
Whoever,
my
whatever.
prospects, and I'll give
Yeah.
you commission back, blah, blah, blah." And this is what I said to Tony after she got started. I said, "Tony," and you guys are going to love this. I said, "Tony, how long do you think it's going to get you to 3A? And this is what she said to me. Mind you, they're homeless. They've lost their home. They lost everything. She said, give me 7 to 10 days. Think of the mindset.
Yeah.
She said, give me 7 to 10 days. I said, Tony, fantastic. How long do you think it'll take you to get to 4A? She said, oh no, I'm going straight to 5A. Give me 4 to 6 weeks. And then the next thing out of her mouth was, how long, she said, if I brought you to Utah, if you can come to Utah, she said, how many people do I need to put in front of you for you to come to Utah, for you to fly to Utah? I said, Tony, you know me, I don't look for quantity like the call started out today. I look for quality. I think, David, you said that. I look for quality. Give me 10 to 20 people and I'll be in Utah. She said, I'll fly you. I can't afford to put you in a hotel, but I will figure out a motel or somewhere to put you. Will you stay for the week? And I said, yes. And I went there and they picked me up. And the first person they took me to was the ex-vice president of New Skin, who had just gotten fired. And he was making bologna sandwiches for his children. Mm-hmm. And that evening, they had Nedra Roney's. Nedra Roney was the owner of New Skin. And I did not know who she was inviting to the house, but she had Nedra Roney's brother, his wife, and 7 other people. And Tony and I did a presentation, and they loved it so much. I didn't know who they were because she never told me. And she always cried at every presentation that we went to. People love it when a girl cries. I don't know why. But she always, because she was sharing her sad story. And they were relating. The people have to relate to you.
Yeah.
And facts tell, stories sell. So tell more stories, less facts. Don't tell me how this works. You're going to confuse people. The more you say, the more they're going to ask. Okay? Just tell stories. And the next thing I know, I'm in the house of the New Skin family.
Wow.
So I'm in the house and I'm doing a presentation. The kids, you weren't with me. I'm by myself, right? I'm there because I used to do things. And I noticed that the nephews and nieces were in the corner and they were all huddled in the corner. And I saw them and I went up to them. I said, excuse me. Do you guys have like a question or something? You have, I see you all gathered together. And they said, yes. How does your company afford to pay this much money to the distributors? And I said to myself, oh my gosh, the owner, the children of the New Skin family want to know why Enagic pays so much money. So I'm thinking to myself, I got the best business in the world. You know what I mean? And so we have a thousand stories. But the point is that you see now they died. They died like 5 years later.
God bless them.
They died when they were -4s.
Yeah, God bless them.
Okay? He died from a brown recluse spider bite, and 2 years later, she died from a cancer.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna start crying in a minute. And she didn't take care of her health. She didn't drink enough of the water, and she didn't change her diet. You got to drink this water, and you got to eat right, and you got to work out. But you know who were by her bedside when I called to speak to her when she was dying? Mr. Fukuda and Go.
Yeah.
And they had moved 2 hours away from the city, and our company executives flew there.
Yeah.
And were by her bedside while she's dying.
Yeah.
What company does that?
Yeah.
Tell me if you can find a company that does that, where the founder sends his top executives to there to represent your company.
Yeah.
And it's just, but Michelle Raley, if you ever heard of Michelle Raley and most of America, that came like 10 levels down from Tony and Doug Banks. And they're underneath us. Yeah. So we ended up getting the whole United States. And one of the people that they invited was Michael Nutza, who didn't have any money. Yeah. And he went to a trade show. He got Enagic to give him 5 machines on consignment way back 20 years ago. I don't know how he got that. And he sold 5 machines. And then he says to me, hey, Eli, can I sell this in Europe? He said, I speak 7 languages. Yeah. I said, Michael,
go for it.
Knock yourself out. Go to Europe.
We
Fantastic.
didn't have offices
And
then.
we ended up being
Yeah.
the number one marketers. We still are in Europe.
Yeah, that's how
We're
you-
number one in Europe.
That's
We
how
have all
Europe
of
was
Romania.
launched.
We have Germany. We have Italy.
France.
And we've never
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
We have never gone.
Yeah.
So you have to understand your ability to influence another person's decision to change their life because they're looking at your life and how you talk, how you walk, how you dress, and they're going to then they'll join you because they feel confident that you're not wishy-washy. You're not selling this program and that program and this and that, and you're all over the place. You got to get focused. Just make a decision. This is it. I'm focused. I found the right place. And I want to meet Eli and Jelena. I want to meet all the leaders of the Vietnamese team. And I'm going to be at the next event in Canada or whatever this year. You just come and we'll see you there.
Okinawa and then
Okinawa, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see you there.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Great.
I know. Sorry. We love you. We love you guys so much. Do you understand? You guys add value in our life. I'm going to start crying. You guys mean so much to us. You have to understand that. The lifestyle that we're living. We're living above a lake. Look, I know it's a cloudy day today, but we live above a beautiful lake. I don't know if you can see it. Kind of hard. Should I walk outside?
Okay.
No, I want them to see. I want them to see. Look, this is my Arabic Moroccan room. You know, my ceiling cost me over $60,000 for my ceiling. No, I don't know. I'm inspired right now. We're gonna go outside. Here, come with me. Come on, honey. Come on. I'm gonna walk out. This is the house that we built.
I think the lost signal.
We have a marina. This is where we live. Right? We have a boat down there. We have restaurants over there. See that?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm not sharing this I don't ever do this, by the way. You may be the first people I've ever done this with. But the point of the matter is I'm just
Live.
Send a signal.
Thank you, Mrs.
He didn't know how to help my son and all the problems that we were having at the time, and now it's changed my family's life and it's we won't walk you through the house. Maybe we'll do it next time. But Jelena has built a beautiful home for our children, our grandchildren, and these are our I don't look at all the awards from Enagic. I don't know if you can see that. Where's my glasses? Here. You want to do it, Jelena?
No, it's okay, honey. It's
Let
true.
me see.
No.
So you can see all the different awards, and we have again, it's just and pictures of our families down here, all of that, and we're just like you. We're just like you. We're family people. And believe me, you guys don't make a mistake. You're not going to find this one again. You're not.
That's right.
Okay?
Right.
So
Okay.
just go for it.
Yes. So
Dimla.
Thank
Yes,
you so
so
much.
Be like
thank you.
Dimla. Dimla's the
Dimla.
most loyal. Dimla is in my group, but she has a higher rank than we do. That's what you want. You want people that pass you up. You want them to become even more successful. You want better for the next person. You want them to succeed better than you.
Aw.
She is
Yeah.
inspiring. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And then
You are
Thank you.
amazing. We're
You
so
are.
blessed that you are in our team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Eli and Chilina. So this the Zoom call is so wonderful, the Zoom. And thank you very much, everything you sharing. So I think the Zoom the over 2 hour, but
Yeah.
all my team
Say,
a
get
lot
these
energy.
people off.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, but we learn a lot from you. And I want, from bottom of my heart, I want to thank you very much, you Sharon, and you advice and your story, the touch, my team, and so everybody, I want everybody unmute and say bye, and I hope that we see you again for the next Zoom.
We love you,
Yes.
Dimla,
Yeah.
and Kevin,
Yes.
and all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lucy,
Thank you.
David, all of the
David.
leaders
Con
online.
nói, con với chú Cường nói
We
thêm gì
love,
nữa đi con.
we love you guys. We
We-
love you
and
guys.
we love your
Thank you
Thank
so
energy.
much.
thank you for
Yeah.
changing our life.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
You guys
sharing your
have
beautiful
a- you have a-
stories.
Thank you for
Room
changing
there.
our life. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You have a
Your
room for me
energy-
there. I'm going to camp in your house for the next 7 days. How's
You
that?
guys all come to my house. Everybody come and stay.
Yeah, because I remember the one time you invite me and my
Yes.
team, but I hope
Yes.
the one day I bring the whole my team to go visit
course.
your house. Yes, yes.
You're more than welcome, and you can. And Dimla, I have a room for you and your husband to sleep.
Thank
We
you.
have a guest
I,
house.
yeah, I remember that you sent for me your address the one time, but in the future I will bring my team go
Yeah, we'll
the
take
visit your
boat
house.
rides.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
for
very
sh-
much.
Thank you for your stories and for your valuable lessons. And your energy kept over 30 people on this Zoom for almost over 2 hours.
Wow.
Great.
Yes,
Wow,
yes,
that's
yeah.
great.
37
Wonderful.
people. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
good.
Thank you very much. And I will see you in the next Zoom. Yeah.
You
Okay.
will.
Thank you
Okay.
all
Okay.
my
joining
leader.
our
Thank you
All
all
right.
my
Thank
team.
you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Have a
for
good day.
everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you everyone join. Thank you.
Thank you, Hai Diễm.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Bye-bye.
Maybe
Yeah.
turn off the Zoom. Thank you,
Yes.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.